So the Lawrence Fox, Dan Wooten story is about three people caught in a trap of saying things which are not particularly attractive. First of all, Eva Evans, when talking about the problem of men, particularly young men who are killing themselves, was dismissive. I don't think one should be dismissive. I think one should be very supportive of the mental health problem. However, Lawrence Fox then goes on and talked in a smeary, adolescent way, which was deeply insensitive. It came across like a sort of naughty schoolboy. It was sniggery and salacious and talking about shagging. Completely unacceptable, really, on mainstream television. Unacceptable, really, on any form of broadcast media. Unacceptable, I think, in ordinary life. And somebody is not reduced. Somebody's argument is not countered by whether or not they are available for the taking. This is nonsensical. So, Lawrence Fox, who essentially he's a good thing. He's an extraordinarily gifted actor, and he's slightly out of his depth, trying to make his way in this very, very nasty world of journalism and social media. He's out of his depth, and I think this is showing dramatically at the moment. But yes, it tips into misogyny. It's not acceptable. But then it's compounded by the conversation that he broadcast on social media with Dan Wooten, where they're both exchanging verbal pats on the back for what they did. Now, GBNews sets out to be provocative. It sets out, like Talk TV, to have controversial hosts. And maybe this isn't the way forward. Controversy is not something one should shy away from as a news program, but it's not something one should seek out in the presenters. The controversy should be there in the content, not in the private lives and the personality of the presenters themselves. So I think GBNews and Talk TV and other news agencies, be warned, have got it wrong. This sort of sensationalism in the presenter themselves is just wrong. It's the same thing with Philip Schofield and the sofa surfing cheap TV. Breakfast television isn't made by these people sitting on the sofa giggling. Breakfast television, I think, is probably made by the guests they have, and some of them are extraordinary. Miriam Margolyes. Yeah, Miriam Margolyes is as foul-mouthed and as potty-mouthed as Lawrence Fox, but Miriam Margolyes is not the host. And Miriam Margolyes is actually scrupulous about trying not to offend other people. Lawrence Fox was appearing as the guest of Dan Wooten, but he is a host in his own right on the same channel. So to say that he is just the guest is to try to absolve GBNews of responsibility. This is not about Lawrence Fox and whether Lawrence Fox has said something inappropriate. This is about whether GBNews has got its eggs in the right order, has made the right decision to hire Lawrence Fox as an anchor for their shows. GBNews has got to ask whether or not it's made the right decision to keep Dan Wooten on as an anchor for its shows. These are the issues. It's about GBNews. It's not about Wooten, Fox, or about Eva Evans. Eva Evans' position, because she has now been attacked, is in some way dignified. But if you go back to what she was talking about, her position is wrong as well. These are three people who are not being very kind. And I'm afraid GB News and these sort of GB News and Talk TV are encouraging this level of unkindness. And that's the area that I think if I were running Ofcom, I would focus on. But then I'm not running Ofcom. Ofcom isn't really running itself. Ofcom is trying very hard to duck its responsibilities.